So I finally watched, I didn't want to watch the Snuka episode on Vice, Dark Side of the Ring. I really didn't. I had a feeling what it was going to be like, and after watching that one, I already had a feeling that I really just didn't care for the entire series that much. Vice is definitely one of my least favorite cable channels, and they definitely exist completely for their politics, you know. But the Snuka um, episode, one thing I suspected about it that came 100% true is that they didn't have anything new. And obviously, the guy is not around to speak for himself. That's the biggest omission or sin, if you will. But beyond that, the only people that are family or anyone close to him at all that was on there was his ex wife, and it's his ex wife. And I believe they've been separated for a lot of years. And that even when they were together, that Snuka was on the road so much and everything. I don't know how much of a relationship they really had. And she didn't have a whole lot to say, just very basic things, nothing for or against him, you know. And a lot of these are adding up to be a little bit of a hit piece to me, you know, and they're never about anything athletic about wrestling or wrestlers or anything positive about or about sport in general. They all cover dark episodes, you know, which obviously it's Dark Side of the Ring. But, you know, this isn't. A lot of people are participating, but they're getting paid to, you know, so that's a good reason to do it. But people that care about wrestling and stuff, you know, like Jim Cornette is obviously very passionate. He participates. And it's not doing anything for the good of wrestling's image, you know. Um, Snuka's episode just spoke about his having developed a relationship with this young lady back in 82, 83. And, you know, um, it seems apparent to me that she was getting paid. Buddy Rogers was traveling with him like agents and road agents function in a little different capacity nowadays sometimes maybe, but I know they used to basically try to keep the wrestlers in line, keep them out of the drugs and drinking too much, and see to it they get where they need to go from town to town. And Buddy Rogers was his neighbor, but had had enough of it. And this girl was there, and they developed a relationship. So they probably thought that, you know, maybe she can have some measure of control over him and get him from place to place with more success, and she was willing to do it. So I'm sure she was compensated in some way besides whatever pluses she got from the relationship with Jimmy, you know. And I don't want to sound callous at all or anything, you know. But the thing is, we don't know what happened there, you know. She fell down, was pushed down. They got in a bit of a domestic, and it seems like maybe they thought one or both of them that she might have had a concussion, but she obviously didn't want to go to the hospital. She wasn't hurt so bad that she was unconscious to begin with or anything. I'm sure that she, as much as anyone, because that's how people are, they don't want to go to the hospital. She didn't want to go to the hospital, and Snuka had to leave for work. If you might have a concussion, I know from when I was a kid, my sister and her best friend fell out of the pickup when we went around a corner. We were in town going under 25, but you know, they're 8, 9 years old and they fall out of the truck. The door opens. You can't be good, right? And so we made sure they stayed up all night and until the next night, and we had to be sure they stayed awake. If you might have a concussion, you don't want to fall asleep. You know, you may not wake up. It's just how concussions work, you know, and he should have done more, had someone with her, or just not went to work, whatever he had to do. But, you know, she had a concussion probably and she fell asleep, and that's what happened, you know. But it's just not known what happened, and no one else was there. So as much as it might look like they must have had a domestic and he must have pushed her down and that's what brought it on. First of all, he didn't kill her through that, but, through leaving and letting her have a concussion and be there. But she didn't want to go to the hospital, I'm assuming, but because people never want to, But all of those things we just don't know, and we don't know. And there's no way we ever will know, So there wasn't enough facts to make it worth even revisiting, is what I'm driving at, outside of just simply not even a hit piece at Snuka, but a hit piece at wrestling in general, And that's what I feel the whole series has really become. Even ones that seem pretty good, like the Brody one, seems like the only one that I really approve of, really. But still, it's a bit of a hit piece at wrestling in general. And the Benoit, was so covered in the mainstream and everything, I don't know if it could be a good episode, really. But that one, a lot of people that have been honest, the biggest complaint is it seemed to draw sympathy more than anything else, and for Benoit himself, and that definitely doesn't seem called for, I might just say a little bit more, but I'm trying to keep some things kind of short. So I think I'll just talk a little bit more and go ahead and write down a little bit of the facts to just discuss the facts. But there's not much, and that was a big part of my issue with it. There's just not enough facts to even try to make a show to revisit this. There's just not any facts to revisit or people involved, and not much can come of it, And the thing is also, Snuka went to court. He was found not competent with his stomach cancer, I believe it was, and his age, and he died shortly thereafter, And he didn't go back for all those years, but that's just the way the law and the courts did it. And they didn't explore the matter further, and he's passed away now, Just hardly worth revisiting, But when I get home, I'll try to, put what little facts there are. There's just not much, and I just am coming to not approve of this whole series that much, to be honest. Okay, you guys take care.